Hello my YouTube friends, this is Not Mechanic here, and today I'm working on my 1998 Dodge Grand Caravan. And what I'm going to be doing today is I am going to be replacing the starter. A lot of the work is going to be done from the bottom, so that's why I have my car in ramps. If you are going to use jack or ramps, please use safety. Safety first. Also, I have the back tires choke, and I also have my emergency brake. So before we get to the bottom, we have to remove a couple of things in the top to get to a bowl that's in the bottom. But the first thing that I'm going to do is I am going to disconnect the negative cable from the battery. Our battery is located right here, and the negative cable is right here, and you're going to need a 10mm wrench, a 13mm wrench, and all you have to do is just loosen it. And once you loosen it, what you want to do is take the cable out. And once you take the cable out, what you want to do is put it in the side. You don't want this cable to come back and connect to the battery again. The next thing we're going to do is remove these holes right here. And all we have to do is, you can put your hand here and then pull the hose. The hose is out. You put it in the side. Then the next thing you want to do is, what we want to do is remove these two 10mm bolts out of here. Our plan is just to remove all this out of here. Now for this part, you're going to need a screwdriver, flathead, and you have some bolts that you have to remove out here. One here and one in the bottom. There it goes right here. And all you have to do is just take your flathead screwdriver and loosen it up. You want to loosen it up enough. Once you loosen that one up, you have another one all the way over here in the side that is under. So you also have to remove that one with the flathead screwdriver. I cannot get the screwdriver in there with the camera on it. But the same thing I did to that one, that I loosen it up, that's what you're going to do with that one. And then what you have to do is you take this and you pull it. You're going to have both hands doing it, so it's going to be much easier for you. I'm holding the camera and trying to do it with one hand to take it out. There it goes. So once you take that out and you loosen that one up, all you have to do is just pick it up. So I gotta loosen that one. Now that it's off and this is loose, we should be able to pick this up. And once we pick it up, pull it. And there it goes. This is the right time also if you want to change your filter, that you're able to change your filter. Okay, now that we got, the next thing we're going to do is remove this out of here. This is where the filter is located in there. And the only reason why I'm removing it is because right under here is one of the bolts for the starter. So let's just remove this first, and it has two clips. One here and the same clip in the bottom of it. Once you remove that, now you have to push this cover this way, if I remember correctly. Yep, as you can see, it has holes in it because you got the clips that are right in there. Now let's see if we can see that bolt from the starter under here. Is right under, somewhere in there. Yep, that's it right there. Not an easy spot to put a camera. So you see two bolts there. The one you want to remove is the one in the bottom, the silver one. And I'm using a long extension like a swivel with a 15mm socket, and also I'm using a 3/8 wrench. And all we have to do is just, because you're gonna need the swivel just to get it in there, and start removing it. There he goes. That was not easy putting the camera and taking this bow off. Now we're gonna go to the bottom. Now what we're gonna do is remove this nut out of here. This is a 13 millimeter. You're gonna need a 13 millimeter socket, and you're also gonna remove this wire harness. For this part, you're gonna be using both hands. I'm holding the camera with one hand, and I'm gonna be removing this nut with the other hand. Like I said, 13 millimeter socket. And then you have this wire harness right here that you want to remove. And you're gonna need a screwdriver. And all you're gonna do is just put your screwdriver in there. You're gonna press it, and with your other hand, you're gonna pull it. There you go. I removed it. So the wire harness is off. Now you can take this and push it down. So there goes our starter here. Now in this side over here, in this side, right up there, we're gonna remove that nut out of there, and you're gonna need a 15 millimeter socket. I think you can get a wrench in there with a 15 millimeter socket. I thought I was going to be able to get a socket in there, but if I get a socket in there, when I try to take the wrench, it's not going to work. So I'm going to be using an open wrench of 15 millimeter, and I'm just going to put it in here to loosen it, and then okay, now that it's loose, I use one of these ratcheted ones here, 15 millimeters. As you can see, it's out, but it won't come out until we pull the starter out. So let's pull the starter. So what we gotta do is move the wires to the side, and once we move the wires to the side, we can pull the starter. There it goes. You just gotta move it back and forth. And you see the screw? It came out. Just move it back and forth. Be careful it doesn't fall on you, because this thing could be heavy. And there goes our starter. Woo! Since 1998, it's probably been in there. All right. Let's see what we got in there. So right inside we got like it looks like a gasket in it. Let's take it out. Just remember how it goes. This is the gasket that's in there. And you see right here, it says up. So what I'm gonna do is just gonna clean this gasket up, and then we're gonna put the starter in. let me show you something before we go down there and put in the starter back, in case I cannot give you a good view. But this is the gasket I took off right here. Now the gasket has this letter that says up. So make sure when you put it, remember this is going to go in the back like this. And with this going up, goes like this. Now if you see the starter, you're going to see in the starter that you have this groove here. So that thing going up, you're going to take the middle hole and you're going to put it right in here. So this is how it's going to go. That going up, and then all you do is put this right in there. Now these two holes are for the bolts that we took out. So let's go down there and finish this job. So here we go. We got 3 holes in there for this, and this is the gasket. Remember, this goes up. Now this part right here, if you notice, it has like a little groove. So you're gonna have to put it inside like this. Goes in. That's how it should look. You notice the 3 holes, and then the groove I showed you goes right in here like that. So that's how it should look. Don't forget, this one goes in the middle. Just move the wires to the side and just be careful that it doesn't fall on you. You can actually see it when it goes in. Just maneuver it and just get it in there, that groove. Once you get it in there, what you want to do is, you want to take the bolt you took out, pull it out a little bit, the starter. Then what you do is just screw it in by hand first. And there you go. It's holding in there. So now if you notice, I put a wire here. That was just to hold the wires. Just gonna remove it. Just hold the starter because it's not hold tight. You don't want it to fall on you. Now that I bolt hold it a little bit, what you want to do is while you're here, remove the new nut they have there. Take the wire, remember the wire harness, and put it right in the starter. Still hold your starter, and just put it in there. So once you line up the wire, all you have to just push it in, and that's it. Now we're going to take this wire here, and we're going to connect it right with the starter. And okay, we're gonna use the new nut, and I think this is a 12 millimeter. The old one was a 13. This one is the 12. There it goes. So all this is connected. This wire here, it was like that, so it stays like that. So now we gotta finish screwing this bolt over here. So the same 15 millimeters. When you're screwing it in, you also want to push the starter in. Do it tight and just a little bit. So now we're gonna go to the top, put the next one, and we should be finished. Don't forget that this last one goes under there. So here it goes. It goes next one. Put it right. Now use the socket. Once you feel it tight, or you want to just go a little more, and you have, there it goes. So you have put your starter back together. Now let's finish everything up, and we finish. You could skip this part if you want. We already replaced the starter, but I do realize and know that a lot of people don't know how to put things back. So it's a little tight spot in there to show you what I'm going to be doing. So I'm going to explain it, and then I'm going to try to show you the best I can. Now, in there you have what we're going to be putting. We're going to be putting this cover in there. But the first thing we're going to do, we're going to be putting the filter. The filter is going to be going in like this. In other words, it's going to be like this with this groove. Like this. This is going to go in there like that. Now, let me just show you. These grooves here, it has a couple of grooves inside. In the inside part, you have the tabs that when you put this in, the tabs are going to go in right through this hole. So it's going to go in like this inside, and you're going to put the tabs right through those holes. Now, once that is connected, you're going to take this big box, the big box like this, and it's going to go in just like this. See it? It's going to go in just like this. And it's going to go down. Now, this part right here is going to go right with the throttle is at. So let's put the camera down there and see how I do. So the first thing we're going to do is put our filter. You know, like I said, the filter goes in. Make sure it's all the way inside. Now we're going to put the cover. Remember, the grooves are those little grooves right there. I don't know if you can see them. 1, 2, 3, 4. And also don't forget, you also have to connect these tabs. You got one in the top and one in the bottom. Now don't forget the tops and the one in the bottom. And there it goes. Now let's put the rest on. So now we're going to put the cover back. And this part, don't forget, it goes down there. And this is going to follow your throttle. So all you have to do is just make sure, put this in like this. You're going to pick it up. You're going to put that right down there. Make sure it's nice and flush. And then what you need to do is make sure this tube goes right in the throttle. Just going to have to just maneuver it a little bit. Push it back, and just make sure that it goes in. There it goes. It went in. Make sure that one is down there. Nice. Make sure you put the screw in the bottom. Make sure you screw this back on. And once you screw both of them on, don't forget that you have to put these back in, right in here. The 10mm socket. So now that you have replaced the bolts here, what you want to do is put your negative cable. Make sure you screw it back in. Once you do that, you got this breather hole here, and all you have to do is just connect this. And there you go. And you have completed replacing your starter on the 1998 Dodge Grand Caravan. So once again, this is Non-Mechanic. If you have any comments or questions, please post them down below or contact me on nonmechanic101@yahoo.com. That is nonmechanic101@yahoo.com. And remember, if Non-Mechanic can do it, you can do it. Later.